I actually posted that. I posted that question, like, when's the last time that happened? Thinking that people were going to be like, oh, it happens all the time, dummy, whatever. And people are responding, they're like, oh, no, it's only the second time. It's only the second time it's ever happened.
Because this is going to be, if Duke loses, this will be the meme that will forever go down in history of this symbol wearing Duke. Could you imagine being a freshman in college and having $50 million just for signing your image away? No, not at all. Basketball is one of the most boring sports. It's just squeak, squeak, shoe, squeak, squeak, shoe, bounce, bounce, hop.
They should start a basketball league that includes violence. So you have real NBA players playing against athletes or famous people that nobody likes, like Andrew Tate.
So there'd be like blood all over the court instead of vomit, like the one guy who just threw up all over the side of the court.
Welcome back to the He's Wrong, She's Right podcast. This is Nona. I'm Andrew. We are your hosts of this show. If you're watching on YouTube, currently on the live, thanks for joining us. Otherwise, if you're watching this in the replay, in the episode, or listening to us on another platform, make sure you check out that 6,000 subscriber giveaway going through about the middle of April. All the rules are available. You just have to be a subscriber on YouTube, and then there's multiple ways to enter, commenting, leaving reviews, things like that. And you can enter multiple times based on the things that you do. So with that, Nona, ready to jump into it?
Ready.
Ready. All right. So guys, March Madness, hoops, basketball, all those things.
How many games have you even watched?
I've only watched the Michigan games.
Plural?
Yeah.
I only know about one.
Which one?
I only know about the one that you watched.
They've all been, or not all of them. The majority of them have been late start games. The game on Friday, they started at like 9:50 p.m.
Oh, I was already in bed,
Yeah.
asleep.
Yeah.
So I had no idea.
Yeah. So I watched that. They lost to Auburn. And then Auburn went on to play Michigan State in the Elite Eight yesterday for us at the time of recording. And somebody, I don't know if it was real, but I saved this. I think I might still have it. Somebody claimed that it was CBS that posted this. They called it the Battle of the Little Brothers because Auburn is Alabama's little brother and then Michigan State is Michigan's little brother.
Okay.
And somebody had shared it. Maybe I didn't save it. I thought I did. It was really funny, though. They made it seem like CBS, like an official CBS account, had shared it. It looked professional, but I mean, how hard is that to do these days, to make a graphic that looks like something a news outlet would post? It's not that difficult, right?
I have no idea.
So anyways, then Auburn last night beat Michigan State. So for the first time since 2008, and only the second time ever in tournament history, it's all chalk in the Final Four. And
I don't know what that means.
I was waiting for that question. So chalk means all first seeds. So it's technically these teams were ranked 1, 2, 3, and 4, but when you get put into the four quadrants of the bracket, 1 is a 1 seed, 2 is a 1 seed.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Have you ever seen a bracket before?
Yes, and
Okay.
I have no interest in it.
So you take the top 4 teams, you put the top 4 or the 1 seed in each of the brackets. That way they can never meet each other until the Final Four. Then you take 5 through 8. Those are your 2 seeds, so on and so forth, until you fill out the 64/68 team field. Now, does that make sense?
Nope.
So, it's only the second time it's ever happened. And I actually posted that. I posted that question, like, when's the last time that happened? Thinking that people were going to be like, oh, it happens all the time, dummy, whatever. And people are responding, they're like, oh, no, it's only the second time. It's only the second time it's ever happened.
Ever in the history of
The tournament.
all of
Yeah.
March Madness?
Yep.
Which started what year?
I genuinely don't know.
You should know that. You're Mr. Facts over
I
there.
should know that. When did March Madness start? Let's see here. 1939. The first Division I men's basketball tournament, now known as March Madness, was held in 1939. Oregon beat Ohio State to win the national title.
So almost 100 years.
Yeah. That's crazy. I would have never thought it went back that far. I would have thought like 60s or something like that. I don't know, 39, that's kind of a weird year. World War II was going on, college days males were being drafted. That's kind of a really weird time to have your first big tournament. Anyways, so the four, I believe it's Duke, Florida, Auburn, and Houston. Yeah, are the four teams that are playing in the Final Four. I have Duke and Auburn winning it in two different brackets, but my brackets are busted beyond busted. And I don't think there's...
So do you do this every year?
Yeah.
Have you ever won?
So I used to do it with groups, like fantasy football kind of thing. So everybody would put in their bracket and pool money together. Whoever had the best bracket at the end wins the money.
Okay.
But I haven't done that in a while. I just do you can fill out, I think, 25 brackets on ESPN. I did like 10.
For free? Or do you have to pay for it?
No, it's free.
What's the point?
Because you could potentially win millions of dollars.
So I don't understand how you could win if you're not putting money into it.
Because it's sponsored. The sponsor pays out the money.
Well, how would I know that if you don't explain that?
I didn't know that you didn't know it, so I didn't know how to explain it. So I want to pull up the last I knew there were 2 perfect brackets left, and I don't think there are anymore. So I want to see.
And it's probably somebody who created it because the uniforms were pretty, or he's super cute. Like, oh my God.
No. What? How are there more now?
That doesn't make any sense. How could it go from 2 to more?
Yeah, I don't understand. There are 5 perfect brackets. 3 of them have Duke winning. 1 has Houston winning.
Speaking of Duke.
Yeah, I have a story about Duke too, but go tell yours.
Yeah, have you seen their outrage regarding White Lotus and what's his face holding the up to his head wearing the Duke shirt, and they want them to retract it or somehow edit it out or something, because this is going to be, if Duke loses, this will be the meme that will forever go down in history of this symbol wearing Duke.
For them in North Carolina, but nobody else will care.
Well, born and raised in North Carolina, it's a big deal.
I meant UNC.
Again, it's a big deal.
Okay. I don't see a problem with it.
So you haven't seen that or heard that at all?
No.
That Duke is big mad?
No.
Big mad at Mr. White Lotus, man?
The only Duke news that I've seen was regarding one of their players and his NIL deal.
Okay.
Because Duke is a Nike school, right?
I didn't know that.
So every school that has their Nike or Jordan or Adidas or Reebok or whoever does all their apparel, they're contractually obligated to wear head to toe.
So what did he wear?
No, I'm not there yet. So he has an NIL contract with oh my gosh, what are the dad's shoes?
New Balance?
Yeah. So this is like one of the top basketball players in the country.
Okay.
His name, image, and likeness deal is with New Balance.
Okay.
But in the games,
he has to wear Nike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, and I mean, they know this, right? They're not going into the contract pretending that, oh, try and be sneaky and wear our shoes onto the court.
Okay.
But it looks bad if you think about it, right? Like, oh, you paid all this money for this athlete.
Right. That on the court is wearing something else, but off
Yeah.
the court getting paid to wear something else entirely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then the next thing with the NIL thing, I don't know if you remember us talking about this with John Malecki, but we brought up, it was regarding football, but the same thing applies to basketball and basically all college sports.
Okay.
Is that it's basically pay to win now. If you have a good coach and your school has enough money from boosters or whatever,
to be able to buy the best players.
Yeah, and you have donors and
That's why, like, going to Michigan and getting millions of dollars to sign.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, going to some lowly school here in North Carolina that only has thousands to give to you.
right. So imagine, right, in a couple years, once all the dust settles from this, unless they implement a salary cap like the NBA and NFL and stuff have.
Right. Which you've already speculated is going to occur in the next probably 2 years.
I mean, it kind of has to, because if they don't,
Right.
you're going to
We've already talked about this.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, how much money do you think he's making from the NIL deal? Because technically,
The Duke player?
technically his NIL money comes directly from whoever's sponsoring him, right?
Okay. You're asking how much the New Balance NIL deal is?
Yeah.
I mean, New Balance is moderate. I don't know, like $5 million.
So his name's Cooper Flagg, has one of the more unique NIL situations in college sports, having signed a sneaker deal with New Balance by having to play in Nike while at Duke. Why isn't it telling me how much it's worth? Cooper Flagg, I don't care about
4.8 million. I was almost spot on. I guessed 5 million.
Yeah. So if you can attract not just because your school's money is one thing, but what a sponsor wants to pay somebody for their name, image, and likeness is different.
But it's New Balance.
I think it's going to get crazy because everyone's going to find these little loopholes. Oh, your school's capped at $10 million, but you just found some whale of a sponsor like Oracle, like Michigan did with Bryce Underwood. And now you're paying him $50 million or whatever to a freshman.
Right.
I'm just throwing numbers out, guys, like this.
Right. Could you imagine being a freshman in college and having $50 million just for signing your image away?
How many of them do you think take school seriously once they get that money?
Yeah, I just like, I can't imagine being an 18-year-old and having $50 million from nothing to overnight.
Because realistically, you still have to maintain your grades at most of these schools.
Right. But like, do you think they actually put in the effort the way that they would if they don't have that? Because they're still having to prove themselves if they don't have that. Once they have that, they can kind of coast.
Well, one of two things, or I guess one of a couple things could happen. One, they get academically suspended, can't play, lose their contract anyways. Or two, they get injured, but because they're
I wasn't just talking about in academics. I was talking about on the field as well. Because leading up to it, they've been proving themselves to earn that. But then once they actually have earned that...
The majority of them will make so much more money in pro sports at the NBA or NFL or I guess MLB. MLB and hockey are weird, though. We won't go into those. Because technically you can be signed to a pro team while you're in high school and in college.
Okay.
So it kind of muddies the waters. If we're talking easy to understand sports, basketball and football. So for NBA, you only have to have played 1 year of college before you can enter the draft. For the NFL, you have to play 3 years of college before you can enter the draft.
Okay.
So for a college basketball player, they want to be one and done. They want to make as much money in college at their freshman year, and they want to get drafted. They don't want to stay in college and have to do classes. They want to go right to the NFL and make the big money. And then, if I get hurt or whatever, I'll just go back to college after.
Okay.
For football, having to do 3 years, depending on what school you go to, having to maintain those academic standards. It's like the Big Ten overall, I believe.
Except the academic standards are pretty low.
No, the Big Ten is like 3.5 or 3.7. Yeah. Yep.
Are you sure about that?
Yep. And then the schools themselves can set the standards higher. Like I believe Northwestern, Michigan, Purdue maybe. I believe those three for sure require 4.0.
That's a huge, huge ask. for anybody.
But they require it. If you want to go to that school and you want to play for
But
that
aren't
team.
they also like assigned tutors? Like full-time tutors? Like this is your person. Use them for everything.
I don't think each player and each student
Go
has
do the
one.
test for me too.
I don't believe each player and each student has one. I believe the team has a couple. So say, for example, and typically they have them kind of built
When
in.
I was in university, they were assigned per person.
No, but the team doesn't want to have to deal with all that because they don't want to have to, if they have to travel those people, stuff like that, it's going to be a very small number of people. Plus, you're going to have guys on the team who are, through the roof with their grades, that have perfect grades and everything. Like, as I've told you before, the linemen traditionally are like some of the smartest players on the team. So you already have built-in tutors, more or less. Yeah. I'm sure this is something that you can research. But like anything else, that stuff's regulated too. How many can you have? How many hours? Blah, blah, blah. Depends on the state. Depends on the federal government.
Okay.
It's too much to have one per person.
Okay, I was just going off of personal experience, which, as you say, is not anything to actually use in real life.
Did you have a tutor?
No, I'm talking about... That was so loud. I thought that somebody was at the window. As Bella shaking around the corner.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about my personal experience of people I knew who were on the UNCW football team. They had assigned tutors individually. But this was back in 2007, 2008, when I was a freshman at university.
You're being influenced. I don't like it. Because that's how European people, they say university and uni rather than college.
Okay. I've always called it university. So just because you don't listen to me and hear that until right now is not my problem.
I don't like it.
I've always called it university.
Turn off the European
To
switch.
me, college is more of a technical or a community college. It's not always the case, but when I say university, I'm talking about like Michigan or Duke.
Okay.
If I say college, I'm talking about Cape Fear. That's the distinction in my world. But anyways, what else did you want to talk about, Andrew?
Well, I also just say when you're an adult, I just say going to school. Because that covers everything you could possibly want to do. Are you doing online classes? Are you getting your GED? Are you in your postdoctorate? What are you doing? It doesn't matter. You're going to school.
Okay.
Right? So when I was looking to see if there was much trending for March Madness and sports in general and everything like that, I just went to, all the trends on Google Trends like I typically do. There's a bunch of nonsense and fluff on here. I didn't see anything about March Madness until I got down to here. About halfway down this 50 results page, 18 hours ago, it's been trending for 18 hours, women's Final Four. And remember, I had come in there to ask you if you'd heard anything or seen anything because there hasn't been anything to the level of the Caitlin Clark stuff from last year that I know of, which means it's probably not to that level. So when I clicked this, the first topic that came up, men's Final Four predictions. So what was trending in search was women's Final Four, and the majority of the people were clicking on men's Final Four predictions on ESPN. What teams do you think are in the women's Final Four?
I have no idea. I told you I don't follow any of this. It's all nonsensical bullshit to me.
You don't think it's fun?
No, not at all. Basketball is one of the most boring sports. It's just squeak, squeak, shoe, squeak, squeak, shoe, bounce, bounce, hop.
You know what somebody like The Rock should do? Do you know how they've brought back the XFL, or I think they did, or they tried to, and maybe it failed again? Okay, so back in the day, there was an XFL league, and that was run by the wrestling people.
Yeah, you briefly mentioned this when you were talking about flag football was going to go into like the Olympics or something the next round, and that there was also like a gay football league or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the extent of my knowledge of these other leagues.
So XFL had one of the coolest ways to do like a coin toss to begin the game. Instead of doing the coin toss,
I feel like you said who tackles who first or something like that.
They would lay on their backs, right?
And then jump up.
Yeah, jump up, and then the ball would be placed in the middle of the field. So they would run at each other head on.
And then most of the time they would crack heads.
Obviously bad for concussions and injuries.
Right, yeah, yeah.
But it was cool. It was
the
entertaining.
X being short for extreme, I assume.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
So The Rock, whoever, they tried to bring it back. Okay. That digression, let's bring it back to what I'm talking about. They should start a basketball league that includes violence.
I mean, they already kind of do. Like, don't they like elbow into each other and like break each other's noses and things like that?
The way that hockey does it.
Oh.
Where once the fight starts, the refs let it go. They let the two players fight until one of them hits the ground or they both fall to the ground.
But at least with hockey players, they're in full pads, helmet, everything. Whereas these
they rip
guys,
their helmets off and they take their gloves off and they punch fist to chin.
But they're still wearing padding. Whereas these guys would be straight fists.
But they're not punching each other in the chest. They're punching each other in the face.
And most of them aren't wearing cups. So as soon as you just punch a nut, then they're out. They're down on the floor.
Okay, so you add some rules. No low blows. It's not kickboxing.
No low blows. All of it's a low blow.
If
any
you grab
any kind of violence is a low blow.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, low blow means anything below the waist. That's an official term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. And then we you do something like the longest yard, right? But you have it be like the original Space Jam, where it was like the Looney Tunes versus the Monstars. So you have real NBA players playing against athletes or famous people that nobody likes, like Andrew Tate.
So there'd be like blood all over the court instead of vomit, like the one guy who just threw up all over the side of the court.
That happens so often, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, not Kevin Hart, but the older guy. He's like also a short black comedian.
Cedric the Entertainer?
No, not him.
Cat Williams?
No, not him either. I don't remember.
That's about the extent of my short black comedian knowledge.
He apparently had food poisoning and got rushed off of the...
Is Hannibal Buress short?
No, not him either.
Then I'm wrong.
I can picture his face, but I can't remember his name. He looks like an older Kevin Hart.
Older, short, not shorter. Older,
fatter Kevin Hart.
Fatter looking.
No, if you just typed in who was a famous person who had food poisoning.
It gave me a face swap version of an old fat Kevin Hart.
Famous person who had food poisoning at recent basketball game.
Famous comedian who had food poisoning at a basketball game. Oh, Tracy Morgan?
Yes.
He's short.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Ask how tall he is. He's probably like, it probably says 5'10" on his IMDb, which is probably about 2 inches too high.
5'9".
Okay. I was close again, but he's probably 5'7" in real life.
Sure.
So, yeah. Kevin Hart is probably like 5'6" in real life. It probably
Tracy Morgan doesn't look anything like Kevin Hart.
That's not true at all. He looks like an older, fatter version of Kevin Hart. He could play Kevin Hart's dad.
Hold on. No, he's 56. So hold on. Let's go back to
Kevin Hart is probably 50, but he has not aged well. So
Kevin Hart's 45.
Okay. I was only 5 off.
So he's 11 years older.
Yeah. But he has not aged well.
Kevin Hart?
No.
Oh, Tracy Morgan?
Yeah. He looks like more like 62.
It's only a couple years different from his actual age.
Well, he definitely looks, I was being nice in the 62. That's why I kind of went like this. Like,
okay. All right, if you say so.
Yeah. So the one that I was going to talk about to add to this that I sent you the reel of the video compilation of, and you can say his name again?
Oh, Joel Embiid?
Yes. And he plays for Philadelphia.
Sure. I don't know.
Okay.
Didn't he play for Duke?
I don't know. He plays for the Philadelphia 76ers. He was drafted for them in 2014. So that's why I don't understand how this video is only just now coming out, or it's been occurring all these years and people just haven't noticed it. But he apparently sticks his finger down his booty hole and sniffs it before he makes his shot. And I sent you the video because it's hilarious.
Like he wedges his hand, like your thumb. Like what is he?
Like a little, and so I'm gonna show it too.
I didn't see him.
Hold on. You'll see another one.
It looked like
Look.
it looked like he was pulling his pants out of his ass crack, but that's definitely not. You okay?
As soon as I saw it, I was like, how is this just now going around? If he's been playing for this many years and that's his like lucky thing.
I don't know.
That he has to do it.
I wouldn't call it lucky. It's just part of your routine.
I'm sorry, but the amount of fines that they give out for the NBA, by now they should have one for lewd and lascivious behavior on the court or something like that.
But the second one was his warm up, so he wasn't even playing yet.
Whatever.
Okay.
It's for like children are watching this of him.
That looked like cell phone footage though. They probably cut away, but when he's actually shooting free throws, that might be a different story. But yeah, no, sirens. There's almost everybody has a ritual. Like there are people who only dribble a specific number of times.
But who else has a ritual of booty hole sniffing?
I don't know. I'm sure we could find a list. We could probably ask AI to give us a list of the weirdest things.
Well, the last time you asked AI, you came up dead with lame Reddit stories that wasted our time.
I won't ask it about Reddit this time. I'll ask it about real people that have real stories behind it.
That have real basketball careers.
Yeah.
Not so these fake made up people.
So there's people in every sport at every level that have rituals that they've done like their entire life that they just.
I believe that, but booty hole sniffing, that's like a whole other level.
Something worse. I bet we could find something worse.
What would be worse than booty hole sniffing?
Okay. I don't know if this was from a movie or a show or what.
It was probably from a spoof movie. I can already say the way that you're probably saying it. It's probably from a spoof movie.
I remember seeing either a story or it was in a movie where I can't remember what sport it was either. This has been a long time. So maybe I'm having what's it called? Mandela effect. And it never happened. He would wear women's panties to play. Like that's what he would wear instead of regular boxers or compression shorts or underwear. He would wear women's panties.
Okay.
I'm sure we could find a million things like that.
I mean, did you see the picture of what's his face wearing the maid outfit?
LeBron?
Yeah.
I don't remember why he did that, but
he like lost a bet or something.
I'm not wearing a maid outfit. I just saw you look at me. I'm not wearing a maid outfit. What?
You wouldn't fit.
Right.
I don't think they make ones big enough.
Good. This is good news for me.
Fabulous news. But you're also not allowed to booty hole sniff before you shoot your shot.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. So I actually wanted to pull up, talking about basketball still, I wanted to pull up the Women's March Madness stuff because I wanted to actually know who was in it. And I did search for it specifically, separately, to be able to know. And they haven't played their final Elite Eight games yet. Never mind. So we don't know who they are. We've got two
So
more.
you searched it, but you didn't look at the information prior to?
No, because I thought typically I thought they play days ahead of the men's, not days after.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're the expert.
I am the expert. There's 2 games left to play today. They got USC versus UConn, Texas versus TCU. So Texas versus Texas. UCLA won, South Carolina won. South Carolina is like the women's. It's like South Carolina, Notre Dame, UConn. Those are the only
Not
3
Indiana?
women's.
Oh. But I thought that's where Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and all of them came from.
Caitlin Clark played for Iowa.
Sorry, the other I one. I knew it started with an I.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark.
They all blur together.
She played for Iowa.
I really don't care.
I don't know where Angel Reese played for. I can look it up though, I guess. Right? Is it Angel Reese? Is that her name? Yep.
That is one of the players.
She went to LSU, Louisiana State University. I heard that in my head as if Key and Peele, the West versus East Bowl, or East versus West Bowl, when they would introduce themselves as like random player names that don't make any sense, and then at the end it's like Aaron Rodgers and he's like Rod Gears.
I still say AA Ron anytime I see the word or the name Aaron. I read it as AA Ron, even though I know it's pronounced Aaron.
That's all right. And what else did I have here on my notes? The Cooper deal, NIL and salary caps, women's Final Four. Yeah, well, Michigan lost. I talked about that. Battle of Little Brothers. Final Four. Yeah, let us know. So this episode comes out on Thursday. Obviously, if you're watching this live right now, you can comment it now in the chat. But predictions. Do you want to make a prediction for the Final Four?
Oh, no, but I had one more thing to add.
Okay, do that, and then we'll talk predictions at the end.
So Michael Jordan is born and raised here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and he has been quietly giving back to the underprivileged here, and he just opened his 4th free health clinic for uninsured and underinsured families here in Wilmington, North Carolina, partnered with Novant Health, and it's called the Michael Jordan Family Medical Clinic.
Where is it?
I believe off of Dawson, towards downtown. And that is the epitome of being a goat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Final Four predictions.
Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't even know who's playing. You told me a whole bracket. I just, whatever.
Okay.
Like, I really don't care.
Florida versus Auburn is one game. And Houston versus Duke is the other game. I think.
Auburn and Duke.
Okay, that's exactly who I was going to pick. There's a chance, there's a hair of a chance that Houston beats Duke. But
Okay.
Auburn and Florida are in the same conference. They've already played each other multiple times this year. I think Auburn wins that game pretty easily, actually. And then the Duke and Houston game, in my opinion, is going to be a toss-up.
Well, we know what's going to happen if Duke loses. White Lotus is fucked.
I guess I need to find that still image. Yeah. So there's a meme, and I'm sure everybody uses this, but I obviously only ever see it for Michigan because I follow Michigan accounts. Mm-hmm. So it's like a line graph, and at the bottom it's like the little thing that's like start, I'm excited, blah blah blah. Then there's this big gap, like the majority of the time it's like kill me now or whatever, because it's your team's struggling. Mm-hmm. And then the very small sliver at the end, oh yay, we won.
Oh yay. Is that why always at the beginning you guys are like, you fucking suck, you play like shit? So if I yell that, then it's okay if anything bad happens, but then at the very end, because you said that, then they won?
No, it's how you feel emotionally.
Right. I know. That's what you're yelling the entire time that you're watching sports.
Yeah. Because it's true. Everyone knows that the armchair quarterback is always right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Armchair quarterback knows everything. Armchair quarterback could be a stand-in as a coach.
So dumb.
Very easily, all the time.
So
what time we
dumb.
got down there at the bottom next to the red dot?
34.
Cool. So, and then if it's Houston versus Auburn, I have Auburn winning. If it's Duke versus Auburn, I have Duke winning.
Okay.
You picked Duke versus Auburn. Who do you got in that game?
Possibly Auburn.
Duke does have a better record. Auburn's ranked higher. Auburn has been like the consensus number one most of the season, but they don't have like.
But that's what people said about Ohio.
Yeah, but they don't have any overlap in teams that they played, so it's hard to judge.
Yeah, so I don't know.
You think Auburn?
I don't think that.
If North Carolina was in there rather than Duke, would you change your mind?
No.
If Wake Forest?
No, God, no.
All right. So Nona has Auburn winning the national championship.
I did not say that. It was a very...
Come on. Don't be indecisive. Don't get indecisive. Give me a soundbite. Who's Nona picking?
I give 0 fucks.
Auburn versus Duke in the national championship. Who's Nona picking? All right. Remind me to make that. I'll put that as it'll flash to that on screen. You won't say any words. It'll just cut to that. Or maybe the clip if I can get the clip. Because there's no audio. There's not talking. Yeah. So I don't want any of these teams to win. I kind of actually, preferably I would want Houston to win. Just because I don't want Duke to have another championship of any kind. For any
You really
reason.
hate North Carolina that much. You don't want them to win anything.
Right. But I don't want...
Do you hear this? He lives here. He's married to somebody born and raised here. He wants nothing good or positive to occur in North Carolina.
You want nothing to do with it, and you're born and raised here, so you can't give me shit about it.
That's not true at all. I don't care about basketball.
I'm talking... Yeah, we're only talking about sports. If you're born and raised here and you're allowed to not care, me being not from here, I'm allowed not to care.
No, you're not allowed to root for other people.
Yeah. I don't want Duke to win. Nope. Don't want it to happen. I also don't want Florida or Auburn to win. But if Houston can't win, it's Duke that's going to win.
You really just don't want anybody to win because Michigan's already out.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want everything to fall apart because Michigan lost.
That's what March Madness is all about. So Michigan wasn't even supposed to make it this far. They only won 8 games last season.
Okay.
So to win the Big Ten and go to the Sweet 16 in the first year of a new head coach.
Right, but just because they're out doesn't mean everything else falls apart.
That's exactly what happens. Back me up. Back me up.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
That's not a real world.
Yeah, it does. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to jump on our 6,000 subscriber giveaway. Check out all the links in the descriptions. Visit our website. Buy things. Donate money to us. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Buy things? What do we have to buy?
They can buy shout outs. They can give us money. Super thanks. Super chats. Give us your money.
Okay.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.